Imagine that you work hard, study for years, achieve good results, build wealth, and when you finally begin to reap the rewards, the government takes half of what you earned. This is the reality for millions of people living in high-tax countries. But here is the detail that almost no one tells you. It doesn't have to be this way. There is an invisible map of the world where some countries decided to play a completely different game. They chose to charge very little tax, or in some cases, no income tax at all. And those who understand this map gain a massive advantage in the race for financial freedom. Today, here at Investor School, I am going to open this black box for you. I will show you how you can benefit from countries where taxes barely exist, and why this is not only for billionaires and large corporations, but also a strategy available to any investor who is willing to think globally. And let me begin with a direct question. Have you ever stopped to calculate how much money you'd be lost to taxes over the years? Have you thought about the impact of that over 10, 20, or 30 years of hard work? That number is probably bigger than you imagine. And what separates true winners from the rest is not that they work harder, but that they learn to play the system's game. But before we go deeper, let me pause quickly. If you want to keep discovering the strategies that wealthy people use every single day to protect and multiply their fortune, hit subscribe right now. Subscribing is free, but the knowledge you gain here could be worth millions throughout your life. Now let's continue. When people hear about countries with ultra-low taxes, most immediately think of tax havens, as if they were something dark or illegal. But the truth is completely different. These countries understood that reducing taxes is one of the most powerful ways to attract talent, capital, and innovation. They use taxation not as a punishment, but as a competitive weapon to grow. Take the United Arab Emirates as a clear example. For many years, there was simply no personal income tax there. The result? Entrepreneurs, investors, YouTubers, digital influencers, and even tech startups moved to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. These cities turned into global hubs of innovation, not only because of skyscrapers or luxury hotels, but because people could keep what they earned. If you make 100, you keep 100. That changes the entire game. Now let's cross the world to Monaco, that tiny principality on the Mediterranean coast. Monaco does not charge income tax to its residents. That's why so many elite athletes and Formula One drivers live there. Imagine receiving millions of dollars in contracts and prizes and not giving away 40 or 50% of it to the government. In Monaco, every euro stays in your pocket. This is not just a financial advantage, it's a life accelerator. While others spend years trying to recover from heavy taxation, you grow exponentially. And it doesn't stop there. The Bahamas and Bermuda also belong to the list of countries where income tax simply doesn't exist. These tropical paradises have become magnets for entrepreneurs and investors who want to combine lifestyle with financial efficiency. Imagine working for a few months each year in a place with crystal clear water and at the same time, knowing that your income will not be eaten away by aggressive taxation. Another rising example is Georgia in Eastern Europe. While not completely tax-free, it offers regimes so favorable that the tax feels symbolic compared to what you would pay in the United States, France, or Brazil. It is quickly becoming a hotspot for digital nomads and entrepreneurs who realize that every percentage saved can be reinvested into growth. Here is the crucial point. You don't need to pack your bags and move immediately to benefit from these jurisdictions. Many of them offer legal structures such as offshore companies that allow foreigners to reduce their tax burden strategically and completely legally. Massive corporations like Apple, Google, and Amazon have been using these strategies for decades to optimize profits. And if it works for them, why couldn't it work for you? Let me emphasize, this is not about hiding money or doing something illegal. This is about using intelligence to play within the rules that are already available. Those who understand this place themselves in an automatic position of advantage. Those who don't remain trapped, paying heavy taxes, and wondering why they never get ahead. And here comes one of the most powerful mental triggers, the exclusivity of knowledge. Most people go through life without ever realizing that entire nations operate with no income tax. Have you noticed how rarely mainstream media talks about this? Almost as if it were a secret reserved for a small group. But the truth is, the secret is hiding in plain sight. You only need to know where to look. Now think about it. What would you do if you could keep 90 or even 100% of all the income you generate? How much faster would you reach your first million? How much sooner could you retire or live off your investments? And more importantly, what sense of freedom would you feel living without the constant pressure of a government reaching into your pocket? That is the power of playing the game of low taxation. Of course, there are always details. Nothing is as simple as boarding a plane tomorrow and instantly living tax-free. Each country has its own set of rules, international treaties, and residency requirements. In some, you truly need to live there most of the year. In others, it's enough to establish a company or prove economic ties. The beauty of it is that the world offers many alternatives, and the choice depends on your life strategy. So when you look at countries with ultra-low taxation, don't just see them as playgrounds for billionaires. See them as tools to accelerate your path to financial freedom. The question is simple. Will you continue playing with the cards you've been dealt, or will you learn to play with the deck that successful investors use? At the end of the day, it all comes down to mindset. It asks about leaving behind the role of a victim and stepping into the role of the protagonist of your financial life. Low-tax countries are not a distant dream, but a very real opportunity available today for those willing to act. If this lesson opened your mind and showed you possibilities you might never have considered before, don't let it slip away. Hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who also wants to break free. Here at Investor School, you will keep discovering the strategies that truly make the difference between the wealthy and the rest. And remember, in the end, it's not just about money, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose where to live, how to invest, and how to shape your life without chains. Money is only the tool, but freedom is the real prize.